Live.
All right. Welcome to the March 10th, 2022 joint board meeting. We'll start with the invocation by Director Penaloza.
If you could all please join me in bowing your heads or whatever you're comfortable with, and let us begin. God of peace, we pray for unity in our meeting today. We have come together as a board of directors for the Transportation Corridor Agencies, united in passion and purpose. Come and help us maintain unity as we discuss certain matters. We pray for open hearts and minds that will promote and accept better ideas. If there be anyone who is remiss and failing, we ask for humility to accept and learn from necessary correction. Dear God, we seek your honor in everything we do and say. So we lift up this meeting to you. Be in our midst and in that of our hardworking staff and the public we serve. Bind our hearts and minds by your Spirit. Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
Amen.
Now the Pledge of Allegiance by Vice Chair Mueller.
If you all please place your right hand over your heart, face the flag, and join me in honoring the greatest symbol of freedom in the world. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you both. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Chair Will O'Neill.
Here.
Vice Chair Heft.
Here.
Director Connors.
Here.
Director Hurt.
Here.
Director Minigar.
Present.
Director Reynolds. Director Vicsoric.
Here.
Chair Wong.
Here.
Vice Chair Miller.
Here.
Director Beal.
Here.
Director Chafee.
Present.
Director Lombard.
Present.
Director Murphy.
Here.
Director Trevor O'Neill. Director Voights.
Here.
Director Bartlett.
Here.
Director Kelly.
Here.
Director Khan. Director Penaloza.
Here.
Director Taylor.
Here.
Director Wagner.
Here.
Director Chamberlain.
Here.
Director Reynolds.
Here.
Director Trevor O'Neill. Director Khan. Mr. Chair, noting the absence of Director Trevor O'Neill and Director Khan, we have quorum on both boards.
All right. Well, maybe that will make it a little less confusing when we're talking about the O'Neills. All right. So we'll start with public comments. At this time, I'll turn it over to our clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. At this time during live public broadcasting, members of the public may address the joint boards of directors regarding any items within the subject matter jurisdiction of the joint boards of directors. But no action may be taken on off-agenda items unless authorized by law. Written public comments received in advance of the meeting will be distributed to the directors. Live public comments shall be limited to 3 minutes per person unless the chair, subject to the approval of the boards of directors, set different time limits. Mr. Chair, we have received no written public comments, and we have also received no live public commenters.
All right. Thank you. All right. So if you're looking at your Zoom screen, you've probably noticed that there are a handful of us right now in the TCA boardroom, which is a first in quite some time. We have Chair Wong and then Vice Chair Heft. And so we are working out some kinks today to try to make it work so that we can transition back into in-person board meetings. And we'll be talking a little bit about what that might look like. But so if you would just bear with us just a little bit in case we have some technical difficulties here and there, hopefully none, but we are working on making sure we're transitioning back in. So since most directors are still on Zoom, I just ask that if you would like to speak, make sure you raise that Zoom hand if you have any questions or comments regarding any of the items today. If you are participating via teleconference, please press *9 to raise your hand. If you have any technical difficulty please email or text the clerk, and they'll make sure that I am aware. So today's meeting, we're going to beginning with the San Joaquin Hills consent calendar. Madam Clerk, do we have any live public commenters specific to the San Joaquin Hills consent calendar items?
There are no live public commenters.
All right, thank you. Directors, do we have any items to pull or discuss? For San Joaquin, that would be items 1 through 4 or 6 through 10. If so, please raise your hands accordingly. Give it just a couple seconds. I don't see any. Madam Clerk, do you see any? Okay. All right, then I'll take a motion and a second from the San Joaquin Board.
I'll move it.
Moved by Vice Chair Heft. Do I have a second?
Director Bartlett, second.
I'll take that from Director Bartlett as a second. Madam Clerk, roll call vote, please. Aye.
Aye.
Director Bartlett,
Yes.
Director Connors,
Yes.
Director Hurt,
Yes.
Director Kelly,
Yes.
Director Kahn, Director Minigar,
Aye.
Director Penaloza,
Yes.
Director Reynolds,
Yes.
Director Taylor,
Aye.
Director Vicsoric,
Aye.
Director Wagner,
Aye.
Director Kahn. Mr. Chair, noting the absence of Director Kahn, the item passes unanimously.
Thank you. Now we'll move on to the Foothill Eastern consent calendar, items 1 through 3 and 5 through 11. Madam Clerk, do we have any live public commenters specific to this item?
There are no live public commenters.
Thank you. All right, directors, Foothill Eastern directors, if you would like to pull or discuss any items, please raise your hand.
Mr. Chair, this is Scott Voight. I'd like to move the consent calendar for Foothill.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second, Murphy.
Second by Director Murphy. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Chair Wong,
Yes.
Vice Chair Miller,
Aye.
Director Bartlett,
Yes.
Director Beal,
Aye.
Director Chafee,
Aye.
Director Kelly,
Yes.
Director Kahn, Director Lombard,
Aye.
Director Murphy,
Aye.
Director Trevor O'Neill, Director Penaloza,
Yes.
Director Taylor,
Aye.
Director Voights,
Yes.
Director Wagner,
Aye.
Director Kahn, Director Trevor O'Neill. Mr. Chair, noting the absence of Director Kahn and Director Trevor O'Neill, the item passes unanimously.
Understood, thank you. All right, we'll move on to board business, starting in item 12. We have a few presentation items today, and as a reminder, if you'd like to raise your hand, please do so virtually. We'll make sure we call on you. So before we begin the business items, Madam Clerk, do we have any public commenters for today, for our first order of business, which is item 12, fiscal year 2023 strategic plan adoption?
There are no live public commenters.
Fantastic, thank you. All right, our CEO is going to provide a brief presentation for this item. We've talked about it a few times, so appreciate the brief presentation on this one. And the board's consideration of our adopting our strategic plan. We've had a lot of discussions on the contents of the plan and document, and I think we've been able to share that I think staff did a good job pulling in all of our perspectives. That was a really productive workshop, and I still appreciate that one. And so I think we've deliberated the plan thoroughly. We'll probably, I hope, be ready to call for the vote after the presentation, but if you have comments, of course, you're welcome to make those. So we'll start with Mr. Johnson.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chair, and good morning, directors. As the chair noted, this agenda item is for the adoption of the board's strategic plan document, which encapsulates your collective thoughts and directions to staff on what the agency should be focused on over the next 7 fiscal years. Next slide. Following your 2-day workshop last December, staff crafted the plan document and presented it to the boards for your consideration at your February meeting. Similar to what was expressed at the workshop, the board's consensus view of the plan its goals, objectives, and noted activities was highly positive, and staff was provided direction to bring the plan back for final adoption. The 45-page document's content is very comprehensive, covering the agency's various activities and tailored to address a wide variety of audiences. It provides an executive summary as a quick high-level read for those who are already knowledgeable about the agencies and wanting to get right to the focus areas of the plan and the board's goals and objectives. The detailed portion of the document includes broader information on the agency's history, how the plan was developed, and more information as to what the boards want to accomplish and why. This, of course, is the meat of the document. Next slide. Upholding the agency's mission of supporting the movement of people and goods are the 7 focus areas denoted in the plan. These include fiscal management, capital project delivery, tolling technology, customer service, environmental stewardship, communications and public engagement, and regional mobility partnerships. Each of these strategic areas is interconnected and work together comprehensively and cohesively to achieve the board's stated mission and continue the agency's success moving forward. Next slide. The goal, objectives, and activities for each area build on the agency's history of success, continuing contributions that have made Orange County such a great place to live, work, and play, maintaining our recognition of excellence in the tolling industry and as a thought leader, and plotting a course to future building Orange County's transportation network to support enhanced safety, mobility, and environmental outcomes. Next slide. The various planned activities across the 7 focus areas are highlighted by delivery of over $500 million in capital project and environmental investments by 2029, using cash on hand without any reliance on assistance from state, federal, or Measure M tax sources. The early paydown of $600 million in debt, raising the combined savings for the agencies to over $1.4 billion, with the first phase of paydowns occurring in just a few months at the beginning of next fiscal year. Continued investment in the critical tools needed to collect revenues and service our customers, evaluation of the application of emerging technologies and service models to improve what we do and add value for our customers while also increasing cost effectiveness, enhancing our communications and interactions with the public to accurately convey TCA's financial status, activities, and our commitment to the community. And lastly, developing internal processes that future boards could use to make decisions regarding providing supplemental financial support for member agencies' transportation improvement projects. Next slide. The board's adoption of the plan gives staff clear direction as to our work and expected outcomes, providing clear communication to our drivers of our roads and Orange County residents. As noted in the previous presentations, the fiscal management plan and projected cash flows support the activities, investments noted in all 7 areas. Should the boards approve today's action, staff would take steps to communicate the plan to the general public and other stakeholders, enlisting the support of chairs and other board members for council presentations, public engagement through our chambers and other organizations, and outreach to our state and federal elected officials. We'd also work to execute the plan in a phased fashion with inclusion of appropriate activities in the FY23 proposed budget and future budgets, and then also finalizing steps for pay down of approximately $125 million in Foothill Eastern bonds this July, as I previously noted. And then, of course, staff would report back to the board and provide annual updates, recommendations to the plan to reflect its rolling 7-year horizon. So next slide. With that, Mr. Chair, that concludes my report, with the requested action being that each agency adopt the fiscal year 2023 strategic plan outlining the agency's goals, objectives, and activities for the 7-year period from FY23 through FY29. That concludes my report, and staff and myself can respond to any questions the directors may have.
Okay. Mr. Muller.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. You know, voiced my concern about this going at our last meeting. I think that the way we list the order of our strategic objectives matters. You can't just say, and we did it in our staff report, as a matter of fact, we listed them 1 through 7. And when I read a strategic report like that, those are the priority that I'm taking each one of these in. I think we've got a miss in there. We actually did it in one of our slides about our very first priority was spending $500 million on capital projects. And it wasn't where you have it listed earlier that paying down our bond repayment was our highest priority. And that's what I took from the workshop. I think it is important the way that we list these. People are going to read this, and that's how they're going to evaluate it. When we do our strategic plan in the city of Dana Point, we do list them in a priority, our highest priority first, and as we move through those. And then every time we do a project, we list which one of our strategic initiatives is associated with the project we're doing within the city. I think that's something we should be considering here as well. But I do think we need to go back and take a look at the ordering of our priorities. It does matter. Let me pull it up real quick. Right now, we have fiscal management first, capital project delivery second, environmental stewardship third, tolling technology fourth, customer service fifth, and communication public engagement sixth. I have a real issue with having environmental stewardship after capital project. We have 2 commitments that we are required to live up to. That's our fiscal management, paying back our bond debt, and our environmental stewardship. We are on the hook in perpetuity for our mitigated lands. Those should be our first 2 priorities. We could talk about the other ones. I think capital project delivery should be down a little bit because it's not something we have to do. It's something we would like to do and could make our system better. Customer service needs to be moved up. Communications to the public needs to be moved up, and tolling technology, because it interacts with the other ones, all moves up. So I have some issues with this. I'm not exactly sure how the rest of the board feels about it, but I think it is important, and I don't think I can vote with this because I do agree with everything that's in it. By the way, I like what's in there. What are each one of these bullet points as we go through our explanation? I think they're correct, and we need to be doing this. I just think we need to order this differently. So I would make a recommendation that we hold on here. I just go with number 1, fiscal management, 2, environmental stewardship, 3, customer service, 4, tolling technology, 5, communication and public development, 6, capital project delivery, 7, regional mobility partnerships. And I would like to see it ordered that way. Thank you.
Sorry, Joe, could you do that one more time? I wanted to make sure I captured what.
Okay. Number 1 is fiscal management. Number 2 is environmental stewardship. Number 3 is customer service. Number 4 is tolling technology. Number 5 is communications and public engagement. 6 is capital project delivery. And 7 is regional mobility partnerships.
All right.
I'd like to see it ordered that way, and I could vote for this if that were to happen.
Okay. Thank you. Any other comments? All right, Vice Chair Heft.
Thank you, Vice Chair Miller, for that suggestion. I think it's a good one. I think when people look at a series of bullet points, their eyes do go to the top, and we have pledged as a board of directors to be all about the environment and fiscally responsible. So I would concur with that.
Okay. Director Murphy.
Thank you. I was just going to echo the comments as well. I do think first impressions are important, and people do read from top to bottom, and we're lucky if they get to the bottom of the page. So highlighting the fact of our top priorities being in that order, I think it's subtle, but it's very important. So I would concur as well, and can be supportive with those changes.
Okay. I'm going to just ask, just from a practical standpoint, Mr. Johnson, we would be able to just rearrange the order within the document itself with these priorities in that listing?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Of course, we can structure the document differently. I would just advise the boards in terms of your priorities. So the order that staff listed the items is not intended to reflect priorities, and the number we were using was just to count off the 7 focus areas that we noted. I think as the board looks at your strategic plan in all those 7 areas, it is very important that you recognize that they all work together. We can't accomplish what we want to do on our fiscal management side if we're not doing good customer service and our technology on the roads isn't there to collect our revenues. When the board thinks about your mission of supporting the movement of people and goods to the county, if you don't invest in your capital program, then again, when it comes to demand management, you are left with only one tool to manage and ensure that traffic moves freely, and that's toll rates. The board's policies around your toll rate setting has focused on you using very small inflationary increases each year. That combined with your capital improvements allows you to move more people without, hiking toll rates substantially higher. So, for example, with your current approval of the Catalina View project, I think the boards recognize we have a hot spot there. And during peak periods right now, it gets a little congested. Well, you could address that congestion by increasing toll rates. That would lessen the demand and help traffic move slowly, but then you're going to push people back over to the non-tolled corridors. So I think the combination of the tools that staff has laid out for you, we viewed it as integrated. They all work together in their own ways. But if the board really wants the document to be ordered in terms of the topics, the 7 focus areas we talk about in a certain order, we can do that. I would just advise the board when it comes to expenditure recommendations that you don't look at it as, we want to use all the money here first and then there second and third and fourth.
So I'm going to go first to Director Beal and then back to Vice Chair Miller.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Taking off from where Mr. Johnson just left off, I think that when all the directors met and discussed at length all of the items that are now embodied in this strategic plan, we all did so. And this strategic plan, all of which I am in agreement with, reflects what the directors as a whole determined was important from a strategic planning standpoint for us to do. I don't think there was any discussion of one item being more important than another at that point. Therefore, the way I look at it, they're all equally important. I don't really care too much what order they're set forth, but given, I'm not sure that my personal views about which may be slightly more important than another would match up with Director Miller's or anyone else's. And so I'd be reticent to make any suggestion that the order that these different issues appear in the strategic plan indicate any one item being more important than another. I think they're all very important. I believe that's what the board had discussed, and I don't believe there was any ranking done at the time we made this plan. So I'm reticent to believe there being any suggestion that one is more than another because of where it appears in the body of the document. That being said, I support all of them, and I don't care very much what the order is that they end up in. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Vice Chair Miller.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And I agree with everything CEO Johnson said. They are all interconnected. There's no doubt about that. This is about the perception of what TCA is doing. Now, the first two are easy to rank 1 and 2 because those are our actual financial responsibilities. We have to deliver on those no matter what else we do. We have to pay back our debt, but we have to manage our mitigated lands. We have to do that. The rest of them, I agree, they're all intertwined, and I think Director Murphy stated it. It's a very subtle issue, but I think it's an important issue considering what this agency has gone through in the past, that we do lay it out in a way that makes sense to the community. Because you're right, most people aren't going to read this. As directors, we understand this intimately. We went through the projects, or went through the strategic planning session. We understand how it's all coming together because we live and breathed it. A lot of people haven't done that.
All right. Thank you very much for bearing with us there. We were having some technical difficulties with the public broadcast on the audio side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask our city clerk to report out what our most recent vote was, what the motion was, and then what the results of the votes were.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is for item 12, fiscal year 2023 strategic plan adoption. San Joaquin Hills, motion by Chair Will O'Neill, second by Director Taylor. Noting the absence of Director Khan, the item passed unanimously.
All right.
For Foothill Eastern, motion made by Director Voigt, second by Director Murphy. Noting the absence of Director Khan and Director Trevor O'Neill, the item passed unanimously.
All right. Thank you very much. All right. That takes us on to item 13.
I believe Director Miller or Vice Chair Miller made the motion on that. Not that it matters, but I'm not sure how we got.
Excuse me, correction. It was motion by Vice Chair Miller and second by Director Voigt. My apologies.
Okay. All right. Then that takes us to item 13. And do we have any public comment on this one?
There are no live public commenters.
Okay, thank you. The next business item is to approve our legislative platform and will be presented by David Matza. Mr. Matza.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. David Matza, Deputy Director for Government Relations. This is a revised version of the 2021-2022 state legislative platform, which was passed in March of 2021. Next slide, please. Just a quick recap of what the state legislative platform is. It is the basically the foundation for our legislative, areas. Sorry, we can start from the beginning. The state legislative platform is our foundation for our state legislative program for staff and our state legislative advocates, as well as highlighting our various goals in the statutory, regulatory, and administrative areas, also objectives. Next slide, please. Some of the highlights of the platform include engaging on areas such as the agency's authorizing statutes, ability to deliver capital projects, collection of tolls, and discouraging violators, the operation of the agency, and of course, our strategic plan. Other highlights include testing. There you go. Other highlights include supporting legislative regulatory actions that align with national interoperability mandates while protecting consumer data, and preparing the TCA transportation network for future transportation technologies. Next slide, please. Next slide, sorry. Looks like it's stuck. There we go. Some of the areas that we will be adding include Brown Act legislation, monitoring legislation that can impact TCA's meeting structure, and the continuation of hybrid meetings going forward. Transportation technology, other items including license plate technology, toll collection, toll road operations, grant opportunities to prepare the transportation network for autonomous and connected vehicles, as discussed in our December strategic planning meeting. Next slide, please. Additional areas that we are including include monitoring the implementation of the California State Transportation Agency
Mr.
Climate
Matza,
Action. Yes,
excuse me. Wendy, could you get us on the correct slide, please? Thank you.
Sorry. Thank you. Again, start from the beginning. Implementation of the California State Transportation Agency Climate Action Plan for infrastructure implementation. This plan is a framework for aligning state transportation investments with the state's climate health, climate and social equity goals. The plan provides guiding principles as well as investment strategies for making this plan a success. Other items include monitoring the governor's executive orders pertaining to climate resiliency, implementation of housing legislation as it can necessitate future improvements on the toll roads, and lastly, efforts to implement balanced transportation planning. Next slide, please. Today, staff will be requesting the boards approve the revised 2021-2022 state legislative platform, and that concludes my presentation. All right. Directors, do we have any comments or questions for staff? Go ahead and raise the hand if you'd like. I don't see any. Do you see any? Okay.
Mr. Chairman Wagner, I've got my hand raised.
Oh, all right. Director Wagner, go ahead.
Yeah, just a quick issue, and I raised this with Director Johns, or with CEO Johnson. It states in there that he will be the one signing the letter to Assemblymember Ting in opposition to the bill. And I just want to throw out there, maybe that letter comes from the chairs, because typically that's the way I've seen it done, as opposed to the chief executive officer. I throw that out there, more or less agnostic on it. Want to raise it to the board. Typically, it is the electeds who send those letters, in my experience.
Go ahead, Mr. Johnson. Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you, Director Wagner. I think you're actually referring to the next agenda item. So this one is the adoption
Am I
of the
ahead of
platform.
myself?
Yes, it's a
All
good
right.
lead in to the next item.
Got it.
Yeah, fair enough. So we're talking about that's a good point. So this one is the platform, and the next one is the state legislative watch list, where we'll be talking about that particular letter. All right, any other questions or comments? All right, seeing none, this one calls for a roll call vote. So I'll ask for a San Joaquin Hills motion in a second.
Trish Kelly moves it.
All right, Director Kelly on the motion. We have a second.
Heft will second.
All right. We'll go ahead and take the roll call vote on that one.
Chair Will O'Neill,
Aye.
Vice Chair Heft,
Aye.
Director Bartlett,
Yes.
Director Connors,
Yes.
Director Hurt,
Yes.
Director Kelly,
Yes.
Director Khan,
Yes.
Director Minigar,
Aye.
Director Penaloza,
Yes.
Director Reynolds,
Yes.
Director Taylor,
Aye.
Director Vic Sorick,
Aye.
Director Wagner.
Aye.
Mr. Chair, the item passes unanimously for San Joaquin Hills.
Thank you. At this time, I'll take a motion from Foothill Eastern.
John Taylor will make that motion.
And do we have a
Director
second?
Bartlett,
from
second.
Voice Switchboard.
All right, we'll take the second from Director Bartlett on that one. Already, John Taylor's also on the Foothill Eastern. Yeah, okay. All right. All right, so we'll go ahead and have a roll call vote.
Chair Wong,
Yes.
Vice Chair Miller,
Aye.
Director Bartlett,
Yes.
Director Beal,
Aye.
Director Chafee,
Aye.
Director Kelly,
Yes.
Director Khan,
Yes.
Director Lombard,
Aye.
Director Murphy,
Aye.
Director Trevor O'Neill, Director Penaloza,
Yes.
Director Taylor,
Aye.
Director Voits, Director Wagner,
Aye.
Director Trevor O'Neill, Director Voits. Mr. Chair, noting the absence of Director Trevor O'Neill and Director Voits, the item passes unanimously for Foothill Eastern.
Thank you. All right, we'll move on to item number 14. Do we have any public comments on this item?
There are no live public commenters.
All right, thank you. So this next item is going to be also presented by Mr. Matza. It provides the board's information on the state bills that are important to the agencies, and also requests both boards adopt formal positions on a particular bill the staff has flagged as significantly impactful to our operations, as well as to other toll agencies in the state. I'll note Director Wagner's previous comments on this one. After Mr. Matza presents, I have Mr. Johnson respond. I actually tend to agree with Mr. Wagner's comments. So anyway, just as a preview, but Mr. Matza, go ahead.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Chair. As Chair O'Neill stated, this is for our 2022 state legislative watch list. Next slide, please. Just a quick recap. TCA has a strong legislative history with a strong program that has existed since the inception of the agencies. This strong program ensures that TCA stays informed on relevant legislation that just not impacts the agencies, but also the transportation industry as a whole. Oh, sorry. It is on. Sorry. It's connected a little bit more. Okay. And this strong program allows for the agencies to stay, to be able to respond quickly to anything that needs our attention. The state legislative platform, which was previously discussed, identifies issues, again, that may be pursued and require engagement, and serves again as the policy guidelines and the work plan for staff and our state legislative advocates. Next slide, please. Just a quick recap of where we're at now. The deadline for testing 1, 2 keeps going in and out. Where we are now, the deadline to introduce legislation passed on February 18th, 2022. The total bills introduced were 2,020, down from 2,300 last year. Although we can see additional bills introduced through the committee process or through getting amendments, anything like that. TCA has identified 34 total bills that we will be monitoring during the legislative session. Bills that are on this watch list are ones that require potential action by the boards and require strict monitoring throughout the entirety of the session. Next slide, please. The one piece of legislation that we'd like to bring to your attention today, which was briefly discussed before, AB 2594 by Assemblymember Phil Ting. Assemblymember Ting is from the Bay Area, and the inception of this legislation comes from a report done by SPUR, which is an advocacy group in the Bay Area, which focuses on improving social equity in the fields of transportation, housing, local government, and other areas. Basically, this report identified various concerns they had with how the Bay Area Tolling Authority and the Metropolitan Transportation Commission operate when it comes to customer service, violations, and other areas. Unfortunately, despite this being a local concern, the bill introduced by Assemblymember Ting will impact all tolling agencies in the state. The legislation has the potential to add a lot of confusion as it creates new statutes which contradict with current statutes. Impacts to the agencies, TCA, are in the areas of cost, enforcement, and operations. And the legislation also doesn't take into account the differences that exist among the many tolling agencies within California. I will have our Director of Tolling Operations, Vincent Valdez, talk a little bit more about it. But as stated earlier, we will be asking for an oppose unless amended position on this legislation. So with that, Vincent.
All right. Thanks, David. Vinny Valdez, Chief Toll Operations Officer. AB 2594 would make significant changes to the California Vehicle Code that would affect TCA. Before I walk through this slide, I've mentioned during the strategic planning workshop and during the annual customer service update that TCA has developed comprehensive policies that are in place today that are resulting in high levels of customer satisfaction and operational efficiencies. These policies make it easy as possible to pay a toll before it becomes a violation. We treat the violator as a customer as long as possible and offer multiple ways for a customer to mitigate violation penalties. And we rely on effective enforcement mechanisms such as CBC, California Vehicle Code authorized penalties, and DMV registration holds for achieving compliance. This legislation would supersede some of these successful policies, and in doing so, increase our costs and make us less efficient compared to what we do today. First, as we see towards the top left on the slide, there would be a new requirement that for pay-by-plate transactions, otherwise known as license plate transactions, 2 invoices must be generated and mailed before a third one can be mailed containing a penalty. These invoices are mandated to have a 14-point font or greater and include a separate sheet of paper with information on how to dispute and appeal a toll or violation. And the penalty is mandated to be no more than the cost to process and mail the third invoice. This change would impose a new process for people who don't pay timely. Instead of using our Pay Toll Now feature on our website to pay a toll, agencies will have to instead generate and send physical mail at a cost of almost $1 an invoice to ask for payment on what in some cases can be less than a $2 toll. To the top right, this increases our processing costs, meanwhile limiting the penalty for non-payment to the cost of sending the third invoice, which weakens an important deterrent. Then drivers are no longer incentivized to use our Pay Toll Now feature because they don't have to worry about receiving a violation. They can non-account holders can instead drive on our roads and wait to see if their plate was read. And if they receive an invoice for the $2 toll, they can then pay it without incurring any fees that would recover the additional cost of having to ask for payment. So this first change results in new costs and a more difficult collections process. The second change towards the center of the slide, this legislation also mandates a 180-day time period after the third unpaid invoice before a tolling agency can utilize a third-party collections agency to try and collect it. So this establishes a new collections penalty, limits it to $50 per invoice, and covers all the tolls that may appear on that invoice. And then third, towards the bottom, third change, AB 2594 imposes a limit on how agencies sell transponders. First, the price is limited to the cost, not to exceed $5. This has implications for us because even though we currently provide sticker tags for free when you open an account, we also currently sell hard case switchable transponders that are used in other agencies' express lanes for $20. Under this change, we could only sell it for $5, which would be at a loss. This basically disincentivizes us from selling switchable transponders. The same section of the legislation prohibits the charging of a fee when cash is used to buy a transponder. And it goes further to require agencies to maintain a phone line to call for assistance in locating a retail outlet or other location to purchase a transponder. It further mandates that the phone line be available at least 4 days a week from 9 to 5 and be operational one evening per week. So new costs there. So all in all, this legislation as introduced would, number one, increase our costs as there are mandates for mailing invoices, operating during evening hours, and selling transponders. Number two, it disincentivizes the use of pay toll now, and even possibly the use of fast track accounts, as now people so inclined would be able to drive on our roads and just wait to see if they get an invoice for the toll. And then third, this weakens our compliance efforts, as the use of penalties as a deterrent to untimely payment would now be restricted. Thank you, David.
Next slide, please. So that concludes our presentation today. We'll be asking three things of the boards today. One, receive and file the 2022 State Legislative Watch List, adopt an oppose unless amended position on AB 2594, and authorize the CEO to develop and transmit an oppose unless amended letter for AB 2594. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Mr. Johnson, noting Director Wagner's comments previously, I was wondering if you'd have any thoughts on that one.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. No, I think Director Wagner makes a very good point. Staff appreciates when the letters actually come from our chairs. They do carry a little more weight than the CEO. So if the chairs are open to it, we are fine with the board changing or that recommendation being changed. Staff would develop the letter for the chair's signature and then transmit it.
All right. Okay. All right. Any further comments or questions from the directors on this item? Okay.
Chair O'Neill, just a real quick question for staff on this. That $50 fine is max for an entire invoice. So if I had somebody driving down the toll roads every day and they're whatever, let's just say they went off the entire route of the 241 and they're on the hook for about $17, $18 a day, they would have maxed at 50 for the entire month or per trip?
For however many tolls appear on that one invoice, yes, the $50 would be would cover all of them, as opposed to the penalties that apply to each specific violation today.
Wow. That's quite a deal. All right, okay. Well, I'll make a motion for Foothill to approve.
I'll second that for Foothill, Scott Boyce, Lake Forest.
Just to clarify, the modification would be for the CEO to develop
Correct.
for the first signature by the chairs.
Yes, for signed by the chairs, of course.
Okay. Director Kelly.
Yes, this is really troubling. This is another assault on local control. So I'm glad to see that we're watching, we're seeing these things, and hopefully we'll be successful in bringing a change about in that. So I will make the motion for San Joaquin.
Okay. Do we have a second?
I'll second Director Penaloza.
Thank you, Director. All right. We have a motion and a second from both boards. We'll start with San Joaquin. Roll call, please.
Chair Will O'Neill,
Yes.
Vice Chair Heft,
Aye.
Director Bartlett,
Yes.
Director Connors,
Yes.
Director Hurt,
Yes.
Director Kelly,
Yes.
Director Khan,
Yes.
Director Minigar,
Aye.
Director Penaloza,
Yes.
Director Reynolds,
Yes.
Director Taylor,
Aye.
Director Vic-Sorick,
Aye.
Director Wagner.
Aye.
Mr. Chair, the item passes unanimously for San Joaquin Hills.
Thank you. Now we'll take a roll call vote on the Foothill Eastern.
Chair Wong,
Yes.
Vice Chair Miller,
Aye.
Director Bartlett,
Yes.
Director Beal,
Aye.
Director Chafee,
Aye.
Director Kelly,
Yes.
Director Khan,
Yes.
Director Lombard,
Aye.
Director Murphy,
Aye.
Director Trevor O'Neill, Director Penaloza,
Yes.
Director Taylor,
Aye.
Director Voigts,
Yes, and Madam Chair, I was a yes on the last one. I lost connection on the freeway, so I was a yes on the last motion too. Thank you.
Director Wagner,
Aye.
Director Trevor O'Neill. Mr. Chair, noting the absence of Director Trevor O'Neill, the item passes unanimously for Foothill Eastern.
All right. Thank you. This takes us to item 15, our last item for the day. Do we have any public comment on this?
There are no live public commenters.
Okay, so this is a Foothill Eastern item. It is what we call a good news item. So before Dr. Fairmanga presents the item, I'd like to ask Director Chafee, who is our chair of our Joint Environmental Committee, to share some of his thoughts. So Supervisor Chafee.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chair. Good morning, fellow board members. I'm really pleased to introduce this item pertaining to the Saddle Club Preservation Property located in Trabuco Canyon. Staff presented this item very thoroughly during our Joint Environmental Committee meeting in February. And we have a vision and opportunity to preserve and enhance the natural habitat on the site. Staff shared a summary of the work completed over the last 4 years, including outreach to the local community, completion of significant environmental studies, and the development of a site plan, which is for our consideration today. I'm impressed and excited about this plan because it allows for both preservation of the natural environment, incorporates a pilot program for recreational uses, including a hiking trail and an urban garden. I strongly support this item, but also note that it puts mitigation in the bank for us. That's something we don't get enough credit for, where we're working in advance for our future needs. So I'm very pleased to present this item, and if that, I serve the staff, Mr. Fairmanga, if you would share the presentation.
All right, thank you. Dr. Fairmanga, go ahead.
Good morning, directors, and thank you, Director Chafee, for those introductory remarks. Next slide, please. The agency takes pride in its environmental and unparalleled 30-year record of meeting its mitigation obligations as prescribed by the resource and wildlife permitting agencies. To date, the agency has completed 420 lane miles of roadway. And to minimize and mitigate the impacts of these projects, has conserved approximately 2,100 acres of valuable open space across 17 different sites highlighted in this slide. The agencies actively manage all these lands to ensure they continue to provide resilient and sustainable native habitats that provide refuge for the numerous wildlife that utilize these areas, most of which are protected by state and federal agencies. The agency has a history of acquiring land in advance of its future mitigation needs, including the purchase of the Saddle Club property by the Foothill Eastern Agency in fiscal year 18. The purchase of this property and the development of the site use plan that is before you today are consistent with the board's strategic plan goal to continue advancing the agency's legacy of environmental stewardship and innovative leadership to protect and support Orange County's natural environment for the benefit of future generations. Next slide, please. This slide provides an overview of the site's use plan development timeline, starting with the purchase of the property by the Foothill Eastern Agency in fiscal year 18, initiation and the development of the site use plan, including community outreach and input in fiscal years 18 through 20, preparation and circulation of the environmental documents associated with the implementation of the site use plan as required under the California Environmental Quality Act in fiscal years 20 through 22. The gray box is where we are today, seeking board's approval. Upon board approval, staff will start the county site development permit application process, followed by implementation of the plan as part of the upcoming FY23 activities. Next slide, please. The approximately 33-acre Saddle Club property is located in Trabuco Canyon, across from O'Neill Regional Park and to the north of Trabuco Creek. It is located within the county's Foothill Trabuco specific plan. Prior to the Foothill Eastern acquiring this property, it was under private ownership and slated for development. The agency's vision laid out in the site use plan is to restore this site to its natural condition in order to promote the protection of existing sensitive habitats and facilitate wildlife movement in the area. Next slide, please. The boards have encouraged staff to continue considering and pursuing more innovative and encompassing approaches to the agency's environmental planning efforts. Since acquiring the Saddle Club property, staff has been working in coordination with the community and partner agencies on a site use plan that balances habitat conservation, wildlife usage, and a pilot public recreation. All this done taking advantage of the existing opportunities at this site. The property has biological value in the form of oak woodlands, coastal sage scrub, and riparian areas that could be used as advanced mitigation for the agency's projects. Approval of this plan would provide additional opportunities to not only utilize these habitats as mitigation for the agency's projects, but also provide for a pilot recreational program. This recreational program would allow public access to a portion of the property identified in the county's planned trail system. This would provide opportunities for limited low impact recreational uses that are consistent with the proposed site use plan, as well as the county's Foothill Trabuco specific plan, such as hiking, bicycling, and horseback riding. Next slide, please. Staff recognizes the importance of this site to the community, and as part of the proposed site use plan, proposes to preserve the site's historic character by retaining key features such as the water tank that you see in the top right photo, horse ties in the middle right photo, and hay barn shown in the bottom right photo that can be used as a shade structure. In addition, the site came with boxed fruit trees, tangerines, oranges, lemons, that have since been planted into a citrus orchard on site. Centered around this orchard, staff proposes to explore opportunities for partnerships with the local community and member agencies to develop some urban farming concepts that would provide educational opportunities for the local community or even provide partial assistance for those with food insecurities. Next slide, please. Implementation of the site use plan would start with some site improvements, which would help align it with the plan's vision of restoring the site to its natural condition. This includes the removal of some structures associated with the previous site uses, such as the small office and lockers shown in the top right photo, the removal of non-native vegetation, including the perimeter hedge shown in the main photo, and removal of some dying white alder trees along Live Oak Canyon Road, such as those shown in the bottom right photo. Removal of these and other non-native vegetation would go a long way in reducing our water use on the property. The perimeter fence behind the hedge will be restored to match the general character of the community. Next slide, please. In compliance with the California Environmental Quality Act, staff had to evaluate the impacts of implementing the site use plan. The resulting document is the mitigated negative declaration that you have in your package. The document was circulated for a 30-day public review period. We received public comments, all of which have been addressed and are also included in your package. Next slide, please. Subject to the board's approval, staff would complete the county site development permit application process this year, followed by the implementation of the site use plan, starting with some site improvement activities in the upcoming fiscal year 23, as well as the preparation of a conceptual resource management plan that would guide the management of the proposed activities. Activities in fiscal year 24 and beyond would include ongoing adaptive monitoring and management of the property. Next slide, please. The requested board actions are detailed in the staff report and presented here in the next 2 slides. To paraphrase, the Joint Environmental Committee recommended that the Foothill Eastern Board find that the mitigated negative declaration prepared for the site use plan satisfies the requirements of the California Environmental Quality Act. The committee also recommended that the board adopt the mitigated negative declaration and mitigation monitoring and reporting program and make the findings detailed in subsections 2A through D. Next slide, please. In addition, the Joint Environmental Committee recommended that the board approve the site use plan and adopt resolution F 2022-08. This concludes my presentation, Mr. Chair, and I'll be happy to answer any questions the board may have.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Chair, this is Scott Boyce from Lake Forest.
Mr. Voights.
Yes, I want to first of all thank the TCA staff for working. As many of you know, as directors, I've been championing horseback riding, hiking in mitigation land. I think the TCA is a trailblazer in this effort to try to open up this mitigation land for future generations, but not only for future generations, for generations that are here now, because if, as public land, we in the past have always, as mitigation land, allowed a yearly tour or a hike. I think that the baby steps we're taking here, I'm hopeful and encouraging that we continue to push forward to make lands that are mitigation lands more available to the public for horseback riding, hiking, and biking. So huge supporter. I think that, you know, as mitigation land, we have to follow within the constraints of getting mitigation credit for this land. But in the effort to try to open it up to the public, I thank TCA staff. Thank you, Doug, for your presentation and working with us on this. I'm happy to make a motion to accept this mitigation and go forward. And so I move that staff recommendation.
All right. Thank you.
Chafee seconds. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, before we go to a vote, do we have any other comments or questions? All right, seeing none, we'll go ahead and go to a roll call vote.
Chair Wong? Yes. Vice Chair Miller?
Aye.
Director Bartlett?
Yes.
Director Beal?
Aye.
Director Chafee?
Aye.
Director Kelly?
Yes.
Director Khan?
Yes.
Director Lombard? Director Murphy?
Aye.
Director Trevor O'Neill? Director Penaloza?
Yes.
Director Taylor?
Aye.
Director Voigts?
Yes, thank you.
Director Wagner?
Aye.
Director Trevor O'Neill? Mr. Chair, noting the absence of Director Trevor O'Neill, the item passes unanimously.
Thank you. All right, we'll move on to Chief Executive Officer's report. Sorry, hang on one second.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. First, I'd like to invite Ms. Amy Potter, our CFO, to share some important information with the boards.
Thank you. Good morning. I have some good news for you today. The Foothill Eastern Agency's bonds have been upgraded by S&P from A- to A. And you may recall that in December, the San Joaquin Hills Agency's bonds were upgraded by S&P from A- to A. And so now both agencies have a solid A rating. And our credit ratings have been really important to us because they greatly contributed to the success of the bond refundings that both agencies have had in recent years that saved the agencies over $700 million without extending any bond maturity dates. And so with that, that concludes my report.
That's a big deal. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. It is very positive news and just another indication that TCA is really headed in a strong positive direction. The only other item I would share with the board is just to remind you that we are in full budget season now. So starting with your committee meetings at the end of the month, we will adhere to the practice we've used over the last couple of years in asking the board members to really look at the details of our budgets so you have complete transparency and knowledge on how the budget is developed from start to finish, looking at all the line items. So we would definitely appreciate your participation and your feedback through those committee meetings in preparation with your 2 budget workshops that we will have in both April and May, leading up to budget adoption in June. So thank you, Mr. Chair. That concludes my report.
All right, thank you. Then director's reports and new business. I'll start first and just say thank you very much for bearing with us as we are moving toward the hybrid meetings, and appreciate the patience while we were working through that audio issue. Chair Wong.
Yes, thank you everyone for your patience. And I just want to say great job, Amy, getting us on these wonderful ratings. I know you've done a great job on this, as well as the rest of the staff. Thank you for your hard work. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, the next regularly scheduled meeting of the San Joaquin Hills Transportation Corridor Agency Board of Directors and the Foothill Eastern Transportation Corridor Agency Board of Directors will be held Thursday, April 14th, 2022 at 9:30 a.m. And this meeting stands adjourned. Thanks.
Thank you, everybody.